Lager experiment tasting. I have taped the top of these blindly, mixed them up, walked away, came back hours later, mixed them up again, came back. I don't know what's what. I want to see if I can blind this entirely. The idea behind this was to see if lager yeast or ale yeast, there really is that big of a difference when it comes to lager beer or beer in general. Could you make a good lager with USO5 or any ale yeast? The recipe is simple: Magnum saws, just 2 row. So sort of like a Helles, sort of, but a little on a stronger side. 1056 was the original gravity. I've used around 35, so a little bit on the heavier side on that end. Maybe it's closer to a Pilsner, I guess you could say. One had the Y yeast 2206, one had the WP001, and both fermented around 62, 63 degrees Fahrenheit. I did not do a diacetyl rest for the 2206 one because it's fermenting so warm. And didn't do a lager at all. I just bottled it, and here we are. So we'll see. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, put the caps upside down in front of each glassware. I'm kind of excited, actually. My glassware is a little dirty, which is weird. I just cleaned these out. But don't worry about that. The appearance is identical. Both pretty clear. Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's the color right there. You just saw it. So let's do a smell on both. They will smell very different. This one smells a little oxidized, like just a fraction. This one has a little more of a honey thing going on, like a nice little subtle honey, but pretty clean other than that. I'm not getting much malt or any hops really on any of them. Yeah, this has a slight cardboardy thing, just a fraction. But that doesn't necessarily mean one is different than the other. It could have been some processing issue. But the color is almost identical, so you'd think if it was oxidized, it'd be a little darker. At least that's what I've been noticing recently with some of the beers I've been making that have been oxidized. It's been pretty annoying, actually. I mean, maybe there's a slight bit of diacetyl in this, like just a touch. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's drinkable. It's nice. Nice malty beer. This one tastes more bitter. The smell isn't, maybe oxidized is not the right word, but mustier, sort of, dankier in a weird way. And it tastes more bitter, which is odd. A little crisper, a little cleaner finish. No diacetyl at all. But that little musty on the smell. This one is a slight diacetyl, maybe. Maybe. But a little fuller bodied and not quite as crisp. So I would think because of that, the diacetyl, that is diacetyl, if it is, it's very minor. But if that is what that is, because of that, I would say this is the lager. But this is cleaner, crisper. The hops are being accentuated a little more. A little bit of more of a bite to it. I would think this is the lager. And I think this is the ale. The diacetyl potentiality is throwing me off a little bit. But that's my best guess only because of how this is crisper and cleaner of a finish. Oh, I was wrong! This is the WLP001. This is the lager. I should have gone with my gut feeling with the diacetyl. There was a slight bit of diacetyl in there. I mean, I probably should have done a rest a little longer, even though I fermented warmer, just to be sure that it's gone. It is there a tiny bit in the nose, and I should have just gone with my gut because of that. But if that was taken out, let's say that little diacetyl in there was taken out, I would think that, I mean, I could not tell. There's no way I could tell. This is a little fuller bodied, like I said, a little more rounded. And this is like a little more bitter, a little more have a bite to it. The hops are coming through more. That's crazy. Those are very, very, very similar beers. The off flavors are what make it different. If I were to do a little better of a process, do a full lager fermentation on this, colder, because I was pushing it closer to like, low 60s, and then did a lagering phase on it, I think they'd be really hard to differentiate it on a blind taste. Fascinating for me, at least. So I'll let experiment more with yeast, because that's definitely a huge part of beer, obviously, and yeast flavors. But I think, man, if you could make great IPAs of lagers, you can make it a great. I think if you did it the right steps properly, you can make a pretty good lager with like a USO5 or a 001 or some ale yeast. And I think it'd be very difficult to tell the difference, because at least for me, that's what I'm finding out right now. Fascinating experiments. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and get out there and just keep experimenting. That's how you become a better brewer. At least that's At least on paper, right?